I usually like to throw jerkbaits on spinning gear with 6 to 8 pound test. This is 10 pound test copoly, which is a gamma line. It's a monofilament, has a little bit of stretch to it. I like it because it kind of floats on the surface. And this time of the year, a lot of your bites, you might just get a little bit of a tick or a tap. They're going to swipe at this bait. They're not going to really engulf it. Like to make long casts if I can. Into the wind, a little bit tough. That's why sometimes I do like spinning gear. But today, not too doggone windy, about 8 miles an hour. So that's not too hard for a bait caster. One of the key tips, though, in casting a bait caster into the wind is have a little extra line. If you normally have like about 6 to 8 inches of line from the tip of your rod to the lure, make it about 2 or 3 feet. That helps get that momentum of the bait moving for you, so it can really fly and pierce into the wind. Kind of gets that trajectory out in front of you. I like the thinner diameter lines for several reasons. One, it casts so much better. But the biggest reason is when you make these long casts and the fish aren't biting really, really hard like they do with a jerkbait in 45-degree water, I want them to be able to suck that bait in and not feel any resistance from the line dragging through the water. So the thinner diameter line makes a whole lot more sense. If you can't cast it on a bait caster, then go to a spinning rod. The thing you can do with line that can really affect these baits, if I'm throwing fluorocarbon, that line will keep the bait from rising as much. So if you really want to dead stick it, use fluorocarbon. It'll keep the bait down. It'll help you get better hook sets at the end of a long cast. But be aware that with lower stretch, you're going to need to have a softer rod so that you don't pull those hooks out of the fish. Likewise, if I want the bait to float up a little bit after it stops, go to monofilament. In either case, I'm using a thin diameter line, so it allows the bait to do its thing. But by controlling either the horizontal attitude, by letting it float a little bit or sink a little bit, will help you on days when you can't really figure out what they should be doing. When you have 45-degree water or 50-degree water, there's one right there, hit it on the paws. Going to be kind of gentle with him. Yeah, decent fish. So we'll just be gentle. Yeah, we're going to be gentle. We're going to be gentle with this guy. Again, he's hooked outside the mouth. We're just going to let him tire himself out. Not put any pressure on those hooks. Okay, now we're going to get down and see if we get this guy out of here. Come here, fishy. Nice, chunky, cold water fish. And you can tell when you look into their mouths, you can see, look at that. That hook was outside of his mouth, barely in there. This one here on the outside of his head, barely in there. That's all you're going to hook these fish with, just barely. So here we go, fishy. Go back in there.